Hello guys and welcome back to Respawn Gaming. Last time I made a video about tips for people that sail alone and ways to escape or ways to complete quests and that kind of stuff. Just small tips for starters and yeah, well, mostly indeed if you're sailing alone on a sloop or something. And one of the other questions I got a lot from in-game mostly is how do you defeat galleons on a sloop when you're solo sailing? Well, this video is more about that. I wanted to show on video how I do that. You will see indeed that I use a lot of the tips I told you guys in the previous video. The problem was this time I could not find any galleons, so I had to go to the skeleton fleet event. So now I'm only fighting one galleon. What you see here instantly is that I'm shooting at the lower side of the ship. That's one of the first tips also. Whenever you fight a galleon, always shoot actually below the water. If you shoot above the water, you will hit the upper deck. And skeleton ships, player ships not, but skeleton ships will rip those decks always. And that means you're just doing no damage because no water will flow into the ship when you're only hitting the upper deck. So always try to hit the lower deck. And as you can see over here, I'm already started multitasking. I was sailing, then I was hit. They started to fire at me, so I started to turn away. After that, I ran down, repaired some planks, throw some water out, go back up, see where my ship is going because I steered and I didn't look where I was going. Well, as you can see, I was right on time. With a bit of steering and changing my sails, I can still get away from the rocks and go back into the. I did not steer here yet, just to make sure that I can do some quick repairs. And my ship is now going towards a place it can shoot again to the enemy. So just one plank repair, going back up and trying to shoot them still a couple more times. The more you hit your enemy in a row, the better, because the skeleton ships will only have a specific amount of skeletons that repair. And when you make sure that you just keep hitting them, there's a bigger chance that they won't have the time to repair. As you can see here, I'm getting hit again, and I just steer a bit to make sure I'm not hitting the rocks, checking the surroundings if nothing dangerous else is in that way, and then I start again. First getting some water out of my ship to keep the speed I had, and then quickly repairing again some holes here and there in my ship. Next up, as far as you know, indeed the planks and water is one of the main things you need to check the whole time. But one of the other is before you start a battle with a galleon, make sure you have enough cannonballs. As you could see in my cannonball crate, I have more than 100 cannonballs when I started the fight. Especially in a fleet battle, there is a chance that you get some cannonballs, but as solo slooper, I often have the problem that I cannot get them in time before the other ships spawn and start attacking me, and you don't want to lay still at the moment they start attacking me. Now here again, my ship was just slowly sailing around and I kept an eye on where I was going. At the meantime, I repaired some stuff. I picked up some cannonballs, and now I just can fire at it again. This over here, where I'm now going, is a dangerous spot. The cannons can fire at me. That's why I'm shooting at their cannons. This will make sure that I kill the skeletons behind their cannons, and they cannot fire back at me. At this moment, I killed my first galleon. As you can see, that only took me like 3 minutes or something. Um, it's just keep shooting at the lower deck. When going next to the enemy ship, shoot at their cannons so they cannot fire back at you, especially when you're this close as me. If you're a little bit closer, sometimes won't even fire their cannons, but they will shoot at you. Problem with that is you cannot shoot the lower deck anymore. Over here, I'm trying indeed to stop my ship, and when I'm stopped to get the loot, the problem is before the loot's coming up, the new ship's already spawned. So I did a quick check there to see if my lower deck was clear, no water, and that kind of stuff. And just looking over here, what's if I see the loot already. We're loading some stuff, and as you can see, the ships already spawn. I quickly turned to the side where the sloop spawned to hopefully hit them a couple times already and hopefully hit a cannonball, gunpowder keg. I did not succeed in that. Over here they ram each other, some damage to each other, and that, well, as you can see here, I'm just quick the crates. Problem is, indeed, because of the high waves and stuff, it's kind of hard. Sloop is now turning to this side, so I just start firing at it, hoping I can destroy it quickly. With Sloops, they only have one deck. Wherever you hit them, they most likely already will be taking water. If you really want to be sure, they will always get water damage from your shots. Shoot at the front side of the ship, because the back side does take a little bit of time before water gets in or high waves. As you can see on my ship, with a lot of cannonballs I got from my big friend Galeon, almost the whole backside of my ship is destroyed. But as you can see, it's not a continuous stream of water coming in, only from time to time. That's because it will only leak whenever water is on the other side of it. Now here I needed some more planks, so already on my way get some water up. When I'm up, I check where I'm going, and that was against the rocks, so just a little bit of steering over here, going back down, and continue just repairing, because that's the most important part at this moment. And just keep an eye on when you're going, and check if you can fire at the enemy from time to time. You most often hear them shooting first, but here I was just checking there. The sloop was right next to me, and the galleon is stuck behind me. I saw the little bit of green light. That's enough for me to understand that the galleon is over there. So I just pick up some more cannonballs. As you can see, my cannonballs are getting low already a bit, especially for a second galleon. I think I shot like 60 cannonballs on the first one, maybe. Only 80 left for a galleon and a sloop. And after that, for the skeleton fleet, even 2 more galleons. So, as you can see over here, I'm starting shooting again through the water, but I hit. That's, yeah, most of the time more luck than skill. Just start shooting and hope you hit something. You can often aim a little bit with the sails and the mast on where they should be, but often it's just shoot a little bit higher or lower when you're missing them. As you can see, the sloop is already down again. Here I'm trying to mark where the sloop went down for later moments when I need to get the loot. It is just an average position, so that when I go back and climb up my mast, I should be able to find it. And over here you can see we're now starting it to be in a beautiful action. This actually gave me a lot of shots free on the enemy galleon. I'm now in an angle. They will not be able to hit me. Um, and this was actually more luck for me to get here than skill. And I'm just starting to shoot now. The only problem with this is with the last galleon you could see I hit often like 5, 6 cannonballs in a row. With this method of shooting, I often could only hit a couple cannonballs, especially on the lower decks, because of the turning radius. The hitting of the lower deck is a bit harder. But the bonus point was they were actually almost unable to hit me because I turned quicker, and they constantly tried to turn with me. This continues just for some time, just me shooting. As you can see, I'm trying to hit lower decks with the waves, their waves, and everything, and the angle. It's quite hard. So I just keep firing, and as you can see, I actually start running out of cannonballs at some point. I'm already going through pretty quick. Just keep firing at it, and well, when they can't hit you and you can hit them, it's just you won automatically when you have enough cannonballs. What you can do when you run out of cannonballs in a galleon battle, you have 2 options. One I did often, that's fire yourself on their ship. Just fire a little bit before the ship and then grab the ladder. or try to dock with it, and with that I mean come from behind, shoot your harpoon in their ship, jump on their ship, and well, in either case, when you're on their ship, just go through their chests, fight, kill a little bit of skeletons first, check their chests, get cannonballs they have, and some special cannonballs if you can, and then just yeah, return to your own ship, in either case with a mermaid or with the harpoon ship that's next to it. The other option you have when seaports are nearby, um, you can go to those, the fishing outposts. They often have some cannonballs, and well, the problem with both method is you can only take 10 cannonballs with you. When you docked your ship and they have a supply crate with multiple cannonballs in it, you can take that with you. It's a bit more dangerous because skeletons can hit you and you can't hit them back. But well, that's the other option you have, and in that way you can collect some more cannonballs. When you're fighting against a player Galeon, I cannot recommend going on their ship because most likely you will die in the process. When you're with multiple people, it is an option because you die and respawn and your ship is still secured because other people are sailing on it. At the same way, when it's a player and they keep chasing you, you can also just go to outpost and that kind of stuff and collect your goodies from there. In both ways, it's yeah pretty easy to get supplies, but you need to be with other players. When you're on a sloop, you can also do this. It's a bit more dangerous because your ship is sailing for some time. I actually did that once. I had some chests I wanted to sell. It was early in the game. I will show the clip at the end of this video. I just jumped off my ship with my chest, went to the outpost, sold it, grabbed some cannonballs, and tried to throw some fire bombs at them because they were chasing me for a very, very long time. Um, well, it did work for some time. They had some fire damage, but that was it. As you can see here, I'm not trying to make a very sharp angle to make sure the enemy galleon is sailing into the rocks because its NPC did not think about it. Then I was checking where the loot should be, so I'm now going up to check around, checking behind also if the galleon sails into the rocks. As you can see, I could see the loot over there. So I'm not trying quickly to get it. I'm actually too late to stop the ship. I could anchor here. It's dangerous because the galleon was right behind me. If I would anchor here, they would most likely ram me because NPC ships will often go for the ram when they can. So I actually decide here to take my chances and turn around and get some shots at the enemy galleon again. I have a better angle here than before, so I'm just starting to shoot at it. As you can see, we're actually going for ramming directions here. So I was checking if I could steer anymore, but I'm at maximum. So over here, I'm still starting to shoot from up close. Bonus points is they do not shoot back at you. Um, the bad thing about it, they will shoot with rifles at you, which can actually kill you pretty fast if you don't watch out. Well, here I had the chance to pick up the loot because I was sailing and yeah, the my ship was damaged. Um, the chances were slim that I could pick up the loot, so I was actually here more worried about my ship getting damaged again from the enemy galleon and sinking me. So I'm just going quickly here to first scoop some water. As you can see here, we're going actually for ramming course at the moment. Maybe I should have changed my ship course at this point. I didn't. Most likely just hoping that it would be okay. It actually worked out kinda. As you can see, I'm now actually kind of in front of the enemy, still sailing away from them. With a good turn, I can now change the angle again and fire at them. But first I wanted to clear my whole ship. And now I start to turn. As you can see here, sloops are indeed faster than galleons, so when you don't want to fight a galleon, especially player galleons, just put your ship right into the wind, so wind from the back, and you should be fine and get away from the galleons without no problem. Just watch out for the world borders that you don't sail into those. That could be dangerous. Over here again, a good angle at the enemy galleon. It's already going pretty slow, so that most likely means it's already damaged. I'm still looking here for the loot because my cannonballs are getting actually pretty low. If there, I see it, the left of my ship. So yeah, my prio now went from shooting at the enemy ship to collecting the loot, hoping to get the stuff I want. As you can see, I got one crate in, but not the crate I needed. Going dangerously slow now, so the Galeon will pick up with me in the distance. So I'm actually starting to shoot here. That was one of the worst shots I ever did. As you can see, it's almost laying still at the moment. So that means the hull is mostly full of water and only a couple shots will make it sink. So yeah, I'm going here. As you can see, my last 12 cannonballs. And they're still shooting at me. That's always a sign that they are still alive. Um, but it only took a couple of seconds for them to sink after that shot. So there you go. My second Galeon kill. Two Galeons, one sloop, and I'm now trying to get my supply crate here. Well, yeah, I hope you guys got any information from that that you can use. It's just yeah, the shooting. I can only recommend one thing, and that is just uh, practice. Just keep trying, keep practicing, and in the end, you will get it. As you can see, my shots always are not always on point. It's not always necessary to have, because if you take enough cannonballs and make sure they can't hit you, you have plenty of time to hit them. And then it's just, especially with galleons, hit them in the lower deck and you'll be fine. Well, what you're now looking at is the other video with the chase. As you can see, I jump overboard. I put my ship right away from the enemy, and then I go on land. Then I'll skip a little bit, and over here you can see I hand in the chest. I got some more fire bombs on the shore, and then I swam towards their ship because they were quite far behind me, and just threw some fire bombs at them. And I went to my mermaid to finish the fight. So yeah, this was sloop against sloop, but you can use this even better against galleons because they're slower than you. There are some benefits with sloops because no matter which direction you are going, you have the same speed. So if you take your actions smart, you can actually cut off the enemy. Especially turning behind islands is always a smart thing to do. Well, um, I hope you guys learned something from this video. I hope you guys will have more success when solo slooping from now on. And in that case, I would say thank you for watching, and remember, gamers don't die, they respawn.